Hey everybody, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Air Raid MXP Series cold air intake with the yellow Synthaflow oiled filter, available for your 2015 through 2017 Mustang GT. Now you guys be checking out the Air Raid option if you're looking to replace your restrictive factory airbox with an aftermarket option equipped with highlights like a very nice sealed enclosure here, the reusable, high-flowing oiled filter, all in an effort to help increase performance and throttle response in your 5-liter powered ride, while I would say looking good under the hood at the same time. Features from the Air Raid MXP will include a very high quality construction at what I would consider a fair price point, and maybe one of the better fitting, better looking systems in the category. I know sometimes that can be overlooked, but honestly, when you get into more affordable enclosures, sometimes you can really wrestle them to get everything in place. Now, aside from the nice quality construction, the great underhood appearance, the big feature will be improvements to performance and throttle response thanks to improved airflow and overall efficiency here. Now, Air Raid claims that they were able to achieve gains of 15 horsepower at or around 5,500 RPM with this system in place, which is respectable when you factor in they're not using any tuning to help achieve those numbers. Now, on top of the increased power, a nice little bump in throttle response is always something to look forward to as well, along with maybe a minor increase in acceleration noise or underhood noise, but not quite as much as you would see with an exposed or open element intake. Now this leads me to my next feature, and that is the fact that I really do enjoy these sealed enclosures for owners who are looking to keep those intake air temperatures down and performance up. Now, a lot of times those open element intakes can be susceptible to higher intake air temperatures when the car is stationary, and that's when performance tends to fall off a little bit, especially if you live in a warmer climate. So this kit, again, you're getting a very high quality sealed enclosure, and I say one that looks pretty cool under the hood as well, thanks to the combination of the brushed aluminum here and plexiglass design, which, by the way, will help you keep an eye on that oiled filter over time. Moving into construction, and as I mentioned throughout, guys, really solid build quality from Air Raid here, including things like the rotomolded plastic intake tube, along with that high quality plastic enclosure, molded air box. I definitely dig that, especially with a combination of materials up here. This system does utilize, or retain, I should say, the factory cold air inlet or ducting. I really do enjoy that as well because it'll help pull fresh, cool air in from the front of the car here, which is a big plus. Now the filter, again, is going to be the Synthaflow oiled option. It is an oiled filter, so therefore, you know, it can be cleaned, re-oiled, reused over time, save you some money as opposed to replacing a filter every few thousand miles. Now typically an oiled filter such as this will slightly outflow a dried filter, but the only drawback I will say to an oiled option is that there is a little bit more maintenance at the end of the day with the re-oiling process. I don't think it's a huge deal, but that can turn some owners off. Now, if that sounds like a big deal to you, then you can always check out Air Raid's dry filter option instead, which is also on the site for, I think, an identical price point, and that will be the Synthamax dry filter. Now, we already mentioned the box top combination here of the brushed aluminum with the plexi. Definitely dig that again, looks great under the hood. And as I mentioned earlier, it does allow you to keep an eye on the condition of your filter over time. Now, Air Raid does also supply you with everything else needed to get this system in place, including all the hardware, couplers, clamps, all that good stuff, which should make for a relatively easy day in the garage. Price point for the Air Raid will live in that mid $400 range, give or take, which honestly makes this one of the more affordable sealed enclosure options on the site for your Coyote-powered Mustang at home. Now, other options, or other intakes, I should say, from companies like Roush or AFE will actually be a bit more money compared to the Air Raid. So if you're looking for a sealed enclosure, this is certainly going to be one of the more attractive options when it comes to overall investment. Now, also keep in mind here, guys, I didn't mention this earlier, but at that price point, you're getting a lifetime warranty in addition to really nice build quality. And this is a no tune required system, so definitely keep all of that stuff in mind. Install according to the site is going to get a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about 20 to 30 minutes, give or take, to complete from start to finish. This is a job that I would say anybody can knock out at home. Removing the factory air box, getting the new air rate in place can be done with some pretty basic hand tools. And to prove that to you, we're actually going to throw things now to an AM customer for a detailed walkthrough. Check it out.
So for this install, we used a few basic tools. We used handheld pliers, we used a ratchet extender, we used a 10mm, an 8mm, a 7mm, and then we also used a flathead screwdriver.
What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install an air rate cold air intake on your Mustang GT.
So the first step is going to be removing your stock air box. So you guys are going to want to remove this breather tube by pinching on the clip and just pulling out. Super simple. So for this part, you guys are going to want to pinch down on the clips with your pliers and just pull it out. It'll come right out. So once you have everything unplugged, you guys are going to want to loosen the bolt that holds the clamp onto the inlet hose. This part's super simple and it'll come right off once you get it loose. Then you guys are going to want to unplug the airflow sensor. The next step is to remove this screw right here. It is hold it in your stock air box, but you're going to want to make sure once you remove this that you hold on to it, because you're going to reuse this when you put in your new cold air intake. But it comes out just like that, and then you'll be able to start installing your new intake. The next step will be to just pull it right off from the throttle body. It'll come right off. The next step will be to take off these 2 little clips in the back. And then after that, you guys can just pull this piece right out that was held in by the bolt, and it'll come right out. So the next step will be to just relocate your MAP airflow sensor from the stock air box. So you're just going to do that by unscrewing the 2 screws. Super simple, and it'll come right out. And you guys will basically just bolt this onto your new intake. So the next step of this install is going to be getting your cold air intake ready to go. So to do this, you're going to want to get the throttle body adapter that they give you, and you're going to want to push it through and then get the supplied hardware and just screw it in a little bit to where it holds it in place. Then you guys can get your Allen key or whatever you prefer. You can tighten them down. You don't want to tighten them too much though. Just get it to where it won't move. So the next step of the install will be to relocate the airflow sensor. Super simple to do. It'll only go in one way, but you're going to want to reuse the part from your stock air box and the screws. Once you do this, you'll just want to screw it down. Like I said, don't do it too tight, but just to where it sits and doesn't move around. So the next step of your install will be to get these rubber grommets that your air rate cold air intake supplies, and you'll just match them up. So you'll put the medium one in the medium sized hole, the small one in the small sized hole, and then the large one in the large hole. And they'll basically pop right in there. You guys might have to use a little bit of force, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. So the next step of your install is going to be getting this applied hardware, and you're basically just going to match it up with the correct size, and you're just going to push it in there. It will be a little bit of a tight fit, but that's how it's supposed to be. You might have to use a little bit of force, but yeah, this is what's going to help hold your intake in place. So the next step of this install is going to be putting your new air rate box in the car. So you're basically just going to want to match it up where the existing screws went, and you're going to want to reuse that screw from the original stock air box. As you guys can see, you're just going to want to screw it in just like that. It's super simple. Obviously don't do it too tight, but yeah, it'll go right in there. So the next step of this install is going to be getting your adapter and putting the two clamps on it, and then once you've done that, you're going to connect it to the new air box, and then tighten the clamp that connects to the air box, but don't tighten the clamp that goes to the inlet tube. Next, you guys are going to want to get your intake tube and you guys are going to want to push it into the adapter, but make sure you don't tighten the metal clamps. So this part of the install can be a bit tedious, but once you have the inlet tube angled towards your throttle body, you're basically going to want to get that adapter and get it to wrap around the throttle body. Make sure that metal clamp is loose so you have some leeway to move it around. So the next step of this install is going to be to tighten down that clamp that connected the air box to your inlet tube. So after you guys tighten that first clamp down, you guys are going to want to come over to the second clamp that's located on the inlet tube that connects it to the throttle body, and you're just going to want to tighten that down. You guys are then going to plug back in that airflow sensor. If you guys had it angled right, it'll be right where the airflow sensor is, and it'll be a simple plug-in. After you have all that installed, you guys are going to get the intake and connect it to the adapter and make sure the metal clamp is positioned to where you can get to it. Next, you guys will tighten down that clamp so the intake doesn't go anywhere. You guys are then just going to plug back in all those hoses, super simple. Make sure you guys are matching them up with the correct sizes. They'll fit right in, super simple, you don't have to give it much force. There will be 3 of them. You'll plug them all in like that. For the last part of this install, you guys will get the cover and you'll basically line it up with all the holes, and then you'll get the screws and the washers and you'll screw it in just like that. It's a perfect fit. So with this kit, they give you the option to delete the resonator. We decided to do that. So you basically take the clamp off and then you'll pull out the resonator. All this does is it just makes your engine a little louder. You guys will then grab that supplied hose that they give you and it's a perfect fit. You'll basically put it in place of where that resonator was. You guys will then grab those plastic clamps that they give you and you'll basically clamp it around so it doesn't fall off. So I forgot to mention this part in the install, but basically what you're gonna wanna do is there's like a protective film over the glass and you guys can just peel that off.
So wrapping things up here, guys, if you are looking for a very high quality sealed intake that will deliver a unique look, solid gains, and a lifetime warranty, then be sure to check out the Air Raid MXP right here at AmericanMuscle.com.